Did you know that there is an awesome Tailwindcss plugin that lets you animate everything on your website? And it's actually pretty easy to set up. It's called Tailwindcss Animated, and today I'll be showing you how to use it. Let me showcase how it works first. There is this configurator that Tailwindcss Animated provides you. On the left hand side, you can choose your animations. For example, I like this jump out animation. On the right hand side, you can set the iterations. Let's say I want this to be infinite. You can set the duration, you can set the easing for it, and you can also set the direction and the fill mode. These are all animation properties which relate to the basic CSS animations, but in this configurator, it's actually pretty easy to set them up. There is also a spin animation, and there are also transitions that you can use, and they are basically pre-made. So if you're using Tailwindcss, you apply this plugin and you're good to go. Now let's get to the setup. To make this work, first of all, you'll be having to install Tailwindcss. For that, let's create some sort of project. I'll be using React. In your editor, open up a terminal and type in npm create vite at latest. Give it a project name, choose React or whatever framework you'd like to work with. I will be using JavaScript, and then run the commands up above. Once you're done with this, I'll open up the folder specifically, and there is our basic React project with all of its basic boilerplate. First of all, I delete all the CSS from the index and app.css. Then I'll open a new terminal and install Tailwindcss. The installation is pretty straightforward. This link will of course be down in the description. You have to copy these commands and go step by step. You can click copy here and paste it into your terminal. Once you're done with this step, go back to the Tailwindcss setup. In your files, there was a tailwind.config.js file created, and you have to copy this line, this content line, to your file. Replace the current empty content folder, but since we are working in React, and there is not just JavaScript files, there are actually JSX and TSX files if you are using TypeScript. Include those into your content. As for the next step, copy these 3 lines into your index.css, your main CSS file. Just come to your index.css and paste these in. Nothing to do about them. Next, another terminal command. Copy this line, but don't execute it yet. If you bring up the terminal, paste it in, but as you see, it creates an output file and it's searching for the input.css. In React, we have index.css instead, and please choose your CSS file respectively. Then run this command. What this command is going to do is continuously build a CSS file that you'll be linking up, and as your Tailwindcss configuration and other things change, this CSS file will also rebuild. If you have a look at your file structure, there was actually an output.css created. Come to your main.jsx, I'll hide the terminal, and then replace the index.css with the output.css. If you look at the content inside the output.css, you'll see that a bunch of classes were created. These are from Tailwindcss, of course. Now simply copy this test h1 into your app.jsx. I'll come over here, delete the boilerplate that we currently have, delete all this fragment over here, and just paste it in. And just so we know that it's surely working, I'll also put text purple 500 in there. Now bring back your terminal, but don't close this one. Instead, open a new one with this plus button and type in npm run dev. As you see, Tailwindcss is working because the hello world is now underlined and in a purple color. That's great, but we didn't implement the Tailwindcss animated plugin yet. So for that, if you search at their website, there will be a GitHub link where they show you how to install this. I will also be providing this link to you. First, copy this command over here, npm install Tailwindcss animated. I will shut down the development server for now and paste this command in. As for the second step, copy this plugins array from the tailwind.config.js file that this provides. Open up your own tailwind.config.js file. I'll hide the terminal. And then replace the plugins with that. Or if you have other plugins, include this Tailwindcss animated into your plugins array. Now with that, you should be able to run your development server again. And now we can work in the configurator. It's very straightforward. You can play around with this on your own. I'll just show you 1 or 2 animations. I have the infinite and some other variations over here, just as I showed you in the preview, and I've chosen the ping animation. I will, on the bottom hand side, click copy animation classes. And by the way, in this configurator, you can not only work with images, but with text, with more like a p-text or a lorem filler, or with images as well, or anything you really want. And you can also click on play or play on click, or simply play on hover, so you can really test these out however you want. Come back to your app.jsx and paste in these classes into the h1. And of course, since we are in React, change the class to be class name. Now with this, if you come back, you will see that this animation is applying and it's actually going out of screen. I'm also a little zoomed in. So let's change this animation to be something more static. Let's have a look at this pose animation. Copy the respective classes with this button, clear out the current animation classes and paste the new ones in. Now the text is being animated just as we'd expect it to. That's it for this quick video. I hope you found it useful and you'll be using this to spice up your project. If you found value in this, please consider giving us a like, maybe even subscribe, and other than that, I hope to see you in the next one. Happy coding and God bless.